Alright, so I'm going to be doing a VOD review for Strikx, I guess is how you say it. A Plat4 now Genji main. So you mentioned that um I reviewed one of your games like 3 or 4 months ago or something like that. I think in June. It used to be a soldier main. You were like low gold, and yeah, well, congratulations on climbing, at least an entire rank, right? Um, yeah, I will say I went back and watched a little bit of that gameplay, and it definitely looks like you've improved. Obviously you're on a different character, so well done. Um, it looks like you've actually specifically improved in those things I told you to work on, which is good, right? Because I mean, obviously it works, right? And yeah, it just I guess goes to show you that it's if you just work on the fundamentals, you'll climb, right? So, um, that being said, I still think that you should be focusing your attention on those actually the first two things I mentioned to you in that first thing still to focus on improving with, which were positioning, right? You're still finding yourself sitting main a lot. Um, it's definitely improved, especially since you were playing soldier, right? Um, and specifically, right, on Genji, I think you said you've kind of become more so of a flex player, right? So you said you're like looking towards going to scrim, right? Full disclosure, I have very limited experience scrimming, so I rang a few times for I don't know exactly how they do it for like a GM team or whatever. Um, as tank, and I know like you typically you have like flex DPS and like a hit scan DPS or something like that. On flex DPS, it's like Genji, Tracer, Echo kind of things usually. So I guess that's kind of what you're trying to go for, right? And I bring this up because those characters tend to be kind of like close range off angle menaces, I guess, where like hit scan. Sometimes you can get away with playing main, other times you can play like the play longer angles, right? It really depends, right, on the team composition, what exactly your team strategy is. Uh, but like the overarching point I'm trying to get at is that on these flex characters like Genji, you're wanting to play closer than you are now, and especially closer than you would be otherwise playing soldier, right? Which is kind of I guess assume where you started, right? So just something to keep in mind. I think sometimes you're playing a bit too far away, and you're kind of wasting time or resources, right? When you could be like setting up at a different positioning, like above them, right? That's a good thing about characters with mobility. If your opponents give you the opportunity to like go around them and set up above them, you should like take it a lot of times, right? Like if they lack mobility themselves. Like for example, their team comp, right? They don't really have any mobility on their team, right? And any vertical mobility, right? Like, I mean, if you want to get pedantic, like yeah, Widow can grapple, Yari can jump. I don't know what her jump cooldown. Mercy can fly up to you, but like none of them want to contest you at like close range is my point, right? So like you have a big advantage there, where obviously on soldier that's not the case, right? You have to use your sprint to try to out rotate people and get value that way. And secondly, cover usage is still a problem, right? Like both of these things you've definitely improved, right? Like I've noticed you're taking off angles more. You just have to do it even more consistently than you are now, right? um and cover usage, right? You're still kind of drifting out in the open a lot, right? And especially this is also kind of goes back to being, I'm sorry, how you play on main too much. You're acting like you're not going to get shot sometimes, when in reality you're just not getting looked at or not getting hit as nearly as often as you should be, right? This is like a better for me to go over this like play by play. Just something to keep in mind going forward, right? I think if you just focus on setting yourself up correctly, it'll also partially solve this issue here, right? I should say setting yourself up at a different or like a better angle than you are now, right? Um, Initially, I mentioned that like you're not totally aware of when you're down or up players, and I think I've noticed that has improved drastically from that replay because I didn't watch the entire replay, but it seems like you're pretty cognizant of like the player count situation most of the time now. Whereas I think when I first watched, it was like you almost had no clue. Maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, but it's definitely improved. All right. Anyways, Here, this is kind of a range thing, right? Like, it's not the end of the world here, right? Because, unfortunately, you didn't know they had the Widow, but like, you have really nothing to gain the vast majority of the time by like playing out here, as Genji, right? Because like you're a projectile character, so you're just inconsistent in this range, right? This is how you have to look at it. Good hit scans, I just assume. I mean, I'm a tank player myself, but like, I assume I'm never gonna like get missed as like something that's not incredibly mobile, like Ball or Doomfist, right? Like, I mean, Genji isn't like immobile, but he's not particularly fast if he's not using his dash. So like, I just assume I have the same assumption, right? Like, I mean, like at the beginning of the game, if you get random headshot by a Widow, there's like nothing you can do. But like, just in the future, this is kind of exemplary. Like when you see that, I like that you make the decision not to like keep picking them, right? At that range, we can't do anything. So here, right, if you see they're all sitting main behind the Ryan shield, what you should be doing instead is, for example, going over here, right? And trying to like, even if you don't know this ER is here, right? Like you probably don't know this at the beginning, right? But just seeing if you can do anything than attack the Ryan, other than attacking the Ryan shield, is just infinitely more valuable, right? You have basically no shield break as Genji, right? And you're just much more valuable. For example, like if no one's down here, right, they're all 5 stacking top. Just for example, I don't know, like rotating up here, right? Forcing point, going all the way behind to like rotate through here if you want to be extra safe, or just like coming, like dashing through here or something like this to get the positioning here, right? Play point on this angle, do something to split their attention so they can't just like 5-man stack behind the Ryan shield and just keep your tank in choke forever, right? Because like if you don't have the shield break to help your tank walk, you need to like open up a distraction. Because tanks cannot like consistently do something effectively in a 1v5, right? Your tank has to like go into the damage of 5 people, and especially if you guys have bad shield break like you do, right? Like your cast is like the only character except your tank that can really do any shield pressure. He's just gonna get spammed out indefinitely unless someone like opens up an angle for him. So he can actually like walk choke, right? And it kind of has to be your responsibility. So here, when your tank is committed, right, you shouldn't be worried about this pylon, right? I know you're down one, but you should be doing like this, like I said originally, right? Like look, just by using your tank's distraction, like honestly, he like should not be going in, without the Ana, right? Like he should just be resetting, poking or something. He's not in risk of dying, um, right? So in this downtime, or like I should say, since your tank's going in, you might as well make the best of it anyways, and like try to look to attack someone in the back line, right? Maybe get a trade for your tank, right? Maybe force out res or something like that, or just go in the back line, right? Because they have, or I should say, just keep going behind or something like that, because they have poor mobility, and use that to your advantage, right? But just sitting in choke, breaking pylon is like not ideal, right? Like obviously your tank should be going in, but imagine if you were here, literally while your tank was going in, right? You should have been able to shoot this Mercy like twice and just get the easy like dash reset on her and just like, you have options I like explained, um, from the Mercy kill, right? Because you're late, like it's good that you get the kill, but I'm sure you can imagine if you're just doing this while your tank was going in, right, from an off angle, right, like that was good positioning, right? You would have gotten the Mercy probably without taking all that damage and just gotten up here for free, or like help your Moira like kill this cast. Here, I'm assuming you accidentally dropped, right? Um, yeah. And I say that because you knew he still had flashbang because you didn't see him use it, right? And it looks like you just accidentally dropped. You're just trying to poke them, which is okay, right? So here, right, they're all main. You're playing like a tank right now. You see, you're spearheading your team when you like don't have the bulkiness to do this as Genji. Honestly, you don't have the bulkiness to do it as like the vast majority of the roster that isn't a tank. What if instead of playing down here and just shooting the Rhine, you just came up here, for example, and you got like free access to the Yari, right? Like this does two things, right? One, you can't get shot or attacked by the Rhine anymore, right? I mean, I guess if he wants to fire strike you, he can. And two, it gives you easy access to the Yari and potentially forces the Rhine to like change where his shield's positioned, so he can't shield like every bit of damage in one angle, right? So like you playing main, you see you're just making yourself very easy to hit, and you can't do anything except shoot the Rhine shield, right? And like good, you end up getting the ERE killed there, right? Because you dash to her and do some damage to her. But imagine like how much safer that would have been if you just came from literally up top here, right? You literally could not have gotten touched until she was. Okay, this is obviously another massive trouble by your tank. Here again, same thing, right? You see you're just sitting main. Like, I get this guy's low. I don't hate this. He's potentially killable, right? His shield's really low. But again, same thing, right? Just imagine if instead you just sat up here and shot them either here or as they walk in from above, and you'd literally been not in no danger at all. Okay, good kill regardless. I probably would have deflected a little sooner after getting that headshot. Disclaimer, I'm not a Genji player, so I don't know all the intricacies of like the matchups and whether you want to deflect first or dash out first all the time, right? I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, obviously you're trying to hide. I would have waited. Here, this is like kind of silly, but here, literally just don't shoot the Rhine when you're trying to hide, because you're never gonna kill him, right? Like, you're just giving away your positioning for no reason. But like, it is good that you recognize that you're low in place, right? This cast obviously had no clue you're here. Okay, he actually heard you walking. Never mind. Okay, yeah. So you probably should have just not even moved until team got closer. It's a little unfortunate. I don't play with a headset, so I don't hear stuff like that. But that's why I'm a little oblivious to that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, a little silly, right? I think you kind of did what you could. I'm not too mad about that one. This is fine, right? You see, you shooting away the Rhine's pretty good here, right? Because you force them away and give your tank an opportunity to walk, right? Here it seems like you're trying to break the wall, but similarly to shield, what you should be doing instead is opening up like using your tank's commitment for a distraction, right? Like, you know the Rhine's low, so either you do the same thing you did earlier. Again, look, no one's looking at this doorway again, and they're all really close, which is good for you, right? Genji's a close range character. So if you can get close to people with your cooldowns, they're like in a bad spot, right? Or alternatively, you can just dash up here because they can't chase you, right? Like, literally none of them can come up here with any like reliability, right? I mean, I guess technically the Mercy could again, but that's obviously like not good enough, right? Just you see like how ineffective you are. Your team's damage is too low. It's like consistently do that. Here, whatever. Yeah, just have to wait for your tank again. It's fine to poke. Alternatively, instead of poking choke, you could be coming over here. This is a little riskier and like climbing up here, I think. Again, I'm not a Genji player, so I don't know exactly how this would work, but you might be able to come up here and just like poke the back line, which might be a little more valuable, right, in downtime anyways, right? Can't do anything else. Maybe shooting the back line is more valuable than shooting the impossible to kill Rhine, right? Okay, good. Could have lit a little faster. I would have hoped you'd be looking for their cooldowns a bit sooner. I don't like it. Let me show you from their perspective why I don't like this blade. You see how far away they are by the time you commit blade? If you notice they're this far away, don't dash straight into them. You could either, you know, dash top, right? Or dash like up here, right? Either or, I think probably this side is a little bit better just because they have to move their crosshair more, but you see like they don't have to move their crosshair at all. And if you notice, your team also isn't in yet because they just counter or they use Blizz and you're using this as a reaction, I guess, right? So you're committing to this blade too early and they have all their cooldowns, so you're going to be really easy to like deny because your team's like stuck in the choke, right? Which is why just going in the little bit slower but like safer route is just really valuable, right? Because you just avoid stuff like that. Obviously, you should have been keeping track of like stuff like the Cassius roll and the Moira's fade, so you can consistently kill him, right? I know his flash is out, but like sometimes it's not enough, right? This is good. I think that dash, you saw the cast, and that was just unfortunate timing, right? Again, see, just by playing in the open, right? You're just letting yourself get shot by the Mei. When I'll like this sound, I'm sure you're getting sick of hearing it. If you literally just stood up here, or you know, on the crates over here, or this dumpster right here, or something like that, you'd be so much safer. And yeah, like your aim's gonna be marginally worse, but your, I guess, danger liability is going to go way, way down, right? So I'd rather have like a 50% chance of getting the kill and like a 90% chance of staying alive than like a 60% chance of getting the kill and like a 75% chance of dying, right? Especially against Orion and Mei, like these characters don't have to aim, so like your evasiveness isn't that important, right? Like I mean, obviously Mei's icicle, she has to aim, but like you get what I'm trying to say. Unimaginable, right? You see, like, the thing is when you're dead, like, you obviously can't do anything. So, if you just stayed alive there, it just would have been an instant team fight win, right? You got good value with your dash. You killed the Mercy and, like, did a lot of damage to the cast and got your team to kill him. But you just kind of threw it away by dying. Again, if these people looked at you, you could have definitely died there, right? Like, you finally take top, just good. Unfortunately, this fight is not even necessary. But yeah, that commitment through choke was kind of scuffed. Perks, I don't even know again, just perks. I'm not gonna lie. I'd assume you're picking decent ones. I think his perks are pretty decent this season, so. Yeah, my point is like it could have been a lot. It was pretty risky to just dash through choke, but at least their team was looking at like the rest of your teammate. So this is kind of like what I was talking about at the beginning, right? Like you're both kind of wasting each other's time by like not really playing at your optimal range. Like yeah, you force out our ice block, which is good for you, but then like the question is like now what, right? Do you dash across the map and try to like confirm the kill? Even though your dash doesn't go this entire distance, and she still has like ice wall to mess up your aim and stuff and stall. Or do you just kind of reset and like nothing happens, right? And what's gonna happen is like nothing happens. Yeah, sure, you force out ice block, but realistically, you aren't gonna like do anything. Whereas your attention would be better suited, for example, playing here or something like that, and like shooting people down here, or you know, playing in here and shooting people here, or like playing over here on this mega and shooting people from this angle, right? You have a lot of options that are all better uses of your time than like sniping this Mei from across the map, right? Like you're just not doing what your character is designed to do. You're almost playing like a soldier, where you're like actually favored to do something valuable at this range, right? Because in soldier, right, if you force out ice block, you're just way more consistent range in Mei. And then when you force out ice block or something and force her to like run away, then you have free access to the backline here, right? But on Genji, you can't do that, right? Like you just can't reasonably like expect to do anything from like committing all your like energy to that. I mean, like this fight, realistically, are you gonna change the outcome of that? No, probably not. But like, there is a chance that like if you're like, especially on that mega position, if you're like harassing the back line, maybe your front line doesn't get walked over, right? I mean, like the thing is that fight, both you and the Mei were kind of useless. It just so happened that their like front line won the exchange of yours, right? And you could have changed how you played to like potentially impact the outcome of that, right? So here, I think the Rhine's still above. Okay, nice kill. Here again, right, you're just sitting main. This is not what you'd be doing, right? You just killed the Mei, so just keep walking this way, right? Like, if you walk here, the only person you have to worry about is the Moira, right? This is, like, a good thing about cover usage and positioning, you see? Literally, just by taking, kind of, like, I don't even say this is the best positioning possible, but, like, this is the most obvious thing, right? Literally, by sitting here, you can't get shot by anyone but the Moira. Because literally, they just can't see you, right? I mean, I guess the Wu Yang can kind of hit you too, right? If he hits you right in a wall. But the Moira's DPS is, like, really limited, so, like, you're in no rush to, like, kill her, right? You have a lot of time to get out or do whatever you need. So she can't commit on you. And if she commits on you, mind you, at this angle, right? You see she's in LOS of your entire team, right? If she, like, chases you in here, she gets shot in the back by these people. So it's incredibly risky for her to chase you, right? And that's, like, a lot better than sitting main. You see you sit main, eat spam damage from the cast, and almost, like, pay for it by, like, dashing in the rank, right? Like, imagine if you just randomly swing there, just, like, go and die. Here, obviously, it doesn't matter, like, their entire team's dead, so. Good cleanup regardless, right? Here, I don't hate sitting up here. I think you might get more value if you sit up top here. I think there may be able to wall up here. And that's like the only thing you have to watch out for to walk up. My problem with being up here is just kind of the same problem that you had with the May earlier. It's like it's just a little too far for you to consistently do anything, right? Whereas if you're consistently like harassing them with this choke, if you hit like good shurikens on like their someone on their backline just dash in, you can get a kill. Whereas here, like all you can really do is spam, right? Spam from like a far distance where you're not going to consistently do anything. I mean, I don't hate it because you're also contested high ground, so they can't take it for free, but it's just not like, it's not like, probably not the best thing to do as well. I don't hate it, like, you know, Moira had her fade there, but it looks like she was like not paying attention, and you could like definitely risk going for the dash kill on her, because she potentially was killable there, right? And you still have to deflect to save yourself. Here, if the Moira keeps getting out, just let her go. Like, she's literally not doing anything. Like, once you force people out of the fight, like, just let them go, right? Like, it's kind of the same thing with the Mei, right? Like, you can chase the Moira down to the edge of the earth and, like, yeah, continually force each other's cooldowns out. But if you want to, like, carry, it's better to, like, force people out of the fight. I mean, it's actually, like, the correct play to do, right? To force people out of the fight and then say, okay, what else can I do, right? You don't need to kill people to win fights. You just need to, like, reduce their value to basically zero, right? Moira's a close range character. She can't do anything from, you know, like, 50 meters from the objective. Once you force her away, just like let her go and see if you can do anything else, right? Like literally just pushing cart or spamming their spawn be more valuable. And if you want to carry, like you can't trade your time 1-for-1 with like someone else, right? If you're looking to rank up, because you have to assume that you're gonna play better than like your competition, right? So, I mean, that's not always like that's not like a hard. Okay, it's like I guess if you had the headset, probably should have listened out for that one. Yeah, that was kind of goofy, right? Okay, good kill. Fortunately, Ramach roll kind of doesn't accomplish anything. Here, pushing cart's okay. This is up to your scrim team, I guess, if you make the roster or whatever. But I think in ladder play, you probably want to set up at like some annoying angle, right? For example, you could set up here, up top or something like that, and just spam them and just like waste their time so your team gets free cart, or just play up here, right? If they try to walk down, like this angle is really, really annoying for them, right? Because it's impossible for them to look up and like contest you with your entire team here, right? It takes a while for them to walk up too because they have no mobility. But pushing cart's also okay. I mean, okay, so you're doing this now. You can definitely walk a bit further forward, right? Again, same thing, right? You're almost playing this like a soldier, where you really want to be like playing a bit closer. And yeah, like it's riskier. You're at more risk of dying when you're closer, right? Because you have to contest with the Mei and the the hammer swings, and the cast gonna hit more shots and it's closer. But it's also riskier for them because you're just a close range character, and just playing to like your range strengths is more valuable than like setting yourself up to potentially get poked down by the cast or the Wu Yang from across the map, right? Or now the Ana, right? Like you're just not consistently going to be impacting the fight as they are from range, right? Okay. Kind of mess up like your mechanics on wall jumping there, kind of, or not impacting the fight. Your Ramatra may have just like ran in and die. I'm not really sure, but I'm sure you can imagine like if you're positioned more aggressively to begin with, they might have not been in position just to walk over your ram, and maybe you could have gotten a trade. But partially, I feel like you just kind of messed up your wall jump mechanics, which is like, yeah, it's gonna happen sometimes. Just try to do that as little as possible. Kind of a waste by the Ryan. I'd be careful doing this. You don't know the cooldown situation. Like, I bet this Moira had Fade. You didn't see her use it? Yeah, so she just dies with her cooldowns. You know, good players are never going to do that to, like, a lone blade, right? It takes, like, 2 or 3 strikes for you to kill him. She had a lot of time to do that. The Mei has all of her cooldowns, too, right? She could have walled you off. She could have ice blocked, you know, to save herself. She uses sleep and misses, right? Which... you kind of just dash straight into him again, which is like not consistent, right? It's easy to line up shots, but you did have deflect, right? You could have baited out a bit better, right? But the big problem is like you just kind of did not keep track of cooldowns, and it's kind of stink. So, right. You should have been like poking to force out cooldowns. That's my point. You should have been poking to force out cooldowns, or like peeking to see if they use them before you do something like that, right? I'm sure you can see they had a lot of options to live. And they just didn't use them for whatever reason. Okay, nice. You get 2 there, whatever. I don't hate it. Like, you get their tank, you get the Moira. Like, you could have played cover better, right? When you don't have your dash, don't engage people at range. It's kind of the gist of it, right? You see, like, you were contesting the soldier here. I know he wasn't looking at you, but you don't have dash, so realistically you aren't going to get the kill. And you could have just fought the Moira down here, so she was the only one that was looking at you. I think the soldier was kind of weak, so like again, it's not like the end of the world, but kind of cover usage thing, right?
Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
I think starting up here is okay. Your team wants to play in the choke. I don't like it, but... And this is kind of why I don't like it. Like, you just don't have very many options. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of it. But if your team's here, just you can play with them, right? This is okay, right? Controlling the off angle, so you're just not suited to like really just stand main, chunk people down. You see the moment you're not watching this angle. I mean, granted, your cast is here. The cast just like uses the mercy pocket, forces an angle, and instantly gets a pick, right? You see how fast that happens, right? When like you had a lot of opportunities to do the same thing on offense as well, right? You see, because you're playing choke, like you just weren't in a good spot. Higher rank, like you'll rarely see people play this far forward. Usually like the tank will park here. You have like people here, you know, sometimes people will be up here and like all around point. Just gets this way harder to push, right? You can't get like flanked like that very easily, right? Like their only options to flank you are like run someone like I don't know, like a ball run through here, right? Or like, you know, they all run down right side and like open up an angle here or something like that, right? The options are just way worse for like here when you're like constantly forced to like see, oh, you know, if you're forced to like play with your team choke or whatever, you're constantly like doing this, right? Because it's too close on both ends. You don't want to get run over. I'm sure you can see like if you're just constantly doing this, it's like impossible to keep track of both doorways. But if you make the team, that's something to keep in mind, right? And I'm sure you can see, I remember this in watching the replay, right? This, like, the moment you take good positioning, look how easy this is for you, right? Like, you free access to the back line. The only thing I can say is imagine if you're here a bit sooner, you wouldn't have had to put yourself in all that risk to get that pick, right? Here, I would say, actually, you're the safest standing right here, right? Because they can't hit scan you anymore. And you're not opening yourself up to the LOS of these doorways down here. Small detail, right? Something to keep in mind in the future, right? Well, I'll mention the moment that you're at a short range off angle, right? With access to their backline, you immediately get a pick and like potentially turn the fight in your team's favor, right? If you're there a bit sooner, right, you wouldn't have even put yourself in all that risk, right? I would just get out, right? Their hit scans can run through the door like this. It's just not a valuable, you know, use of your time, right? It's not even worth engaging with a full HP Ryan when your entire team's dead, right? I don't hate this as long as you know where the cast is. The only problem with this is if you get like surprise flashbang around the corner, right? Maybe with the headset, it's easier to like pick up on that, but I wouldn't be able to hear if he's walking around the corner, which is why I bring it up. You can get flashbanged and like killed by this Ryan pretty easily. And your team isn't like here to really bail you out. I guess your Matra's on 4 now. So you can't really react to this kind of stuff, right? When you're this close to standing main. Unfortunate time. I don't hate that dash. Here, no need to get greedy. Good kills regardless. I'd say no need to get greedy because they're using 2 ults and it's like not advisable to fight into ults. I mean that's really that simple. It works out though. And notice that also works because your tank pushes down main, right? And you take this close range off angle to immediately get on their hit scans before they have time to like burst you down, right? Especially Soldier, like he just doesn't have the burst damage to consistently kill you. Yeah, this is just a really awkward spot for you to play, really. This is, if your team wants to play choke, this is probably like your best option, realistically. See, that's kind of what I was talking about earlier, like you just sit lower and like just get surprise flashbanged. It's like not much you can do. Now you're just forced away. So here I know you're down 1, but I would be rotating top because you see their tank's floor and you should be like looking to catch someone that like, for example, their Soldier that's like overextending and like pushing too early without his team, right? And this is how you turn fights, right? If you know you're down 1, especially your tank, you can't stop them from walking forward. And it's good that you're backing up and like giving up space, but you could be looking for more. For example, like looking to pick people off that like overextend or like looking to still control positions for like the bulk of their team is not, right? It's like this is obviously not good for you. He's forcing you away, and the Soldier's also taking map position, right? I would have tried to fight that Soldier. I don't even think like you noticed he was there, which is okay. It was definitely, I don't know why he was there. It was definitely very odd. This is fine. I like this blade because the Ryan was really weak. Even though you die, I guess it's really good value. And their cast wasn't around, and their like Anna was like on card and have a bad position to like actually like sleeper need you. So. And walking back to the most fun part of the game, right? I really should speed this up, I guess, a little. I like this. You see how like annoying you are? I think you back up too soon, right? Like you're distracting their backline, right? And forcing yourself as a threat. And like you're not gonna get burst by the Moira, right? Like that's a good thing about playing Moira against Moira, like you don't have to worry about being like one shot by her. It's fine though. Good kill on the Rhine, right? Distraction was pretty decent. Good thing. Yeah, here you just can't do anything. If they're 4-stacking card, you have to wait for your team to show up. I actually don't mind that you're not peeking right now, just so you don't waste team's resources. Very nice. Yeah, just have deflect more ready, right? Maybe when you dash a Soldier, instant deflect. Again, not a Genji player, so I don't know the intricacies of that matchup. But if you don't see him use Helix, that's his like only first option against you, right? So just be a little bit more trigger ready, I suppose, right? It was pretty decent fight though, regardless. Here I wouldn't be dashing this guy unless he's actually killable like immediately. If he's better, he can just instantly like shatter you and like open up the fight for your team, right? Like I'm sure you can imagine right now, if he shattered a bit sooner, he would have killed you probably like with a headshot on the shadow, right? The headshot crit or whatever you want to call it, and then both your supports and just immediately won the fight, right? Just because you dashed in. He was still like 300-ish HP or something like that. Nice. Yeah, I'm thinking if you don't know the status of Soldier's Helix, that's probably one you want to do against him most of the time, right? Um, Similarly to Ana, right? Because if they like blow their cooldowns, they're just kind of dead to you as long as you don't miss everything. Obviously, I'm sure it's a bit of a mind game kind of thing, but here this is fine, right? I like your positioning, but you shouldn't be focused on the people main again. You should be focusing on seeing if anyone's coming up here, especially they have a soldier that wants to like play high ground and just like sit down these long angles and shoot people, right? And try to deny his ability to walk up for free, right? You kind of get caught off guard. Like you should kind of know he's trying to come up here, right? He did that last time too, and it's just like in your best interest not to look main so many times, right? Like if you don't have a tank, like it's a general rule. If you don't have a tank, you can't like realistically contest main. You have to look for value elsewhere, right? Either back up if you can't find value, or look to cut off some angle, right? Punish the back line. A little greedy, doing that without dash, right? If you want to be annoying to their team, you could potentially, if your team wants to spawn hold, I don't think it's like great or anything. Yeah, you could potentially play on top of this building, right? Oh my god, what is this soldier doing? But I would definitely not suggest like trying to hold their spawn, especially like in an uncoordinated environment, like Plat or whatever. Again, instead of playing main, right? Like I don't think it's great to hold here. What if instead you just came over here and like look for something, right? Like right now you can't really do anything, but like if their cast peaks a little bit more, maybe you can just like shoot them, headshot them, dash in, dash out, something like that, right? Whereas main, you're just gonna be shooting a Ryan shield all game. Your Ram's just gonna get walked over. Oh, this is fine. You can't realistically do anything at this point, so this is good, right? Unfortunate. Obviously missed a bit much. It's alright though. And you're also playing against a Kiriko character. I don't hate it though. That's generally if you want to turn fights, that's what you should be looking for. Could have been a bit better. I'm not gonna nitpick that one too much. Again, I would stop looking main so much, right? I like that you weren't actually peeking or peeking main that time. But look at like these different doorways before you go in, so stuff you don't get caught off guard like that, right? Like again, no tank, you can't realistically stop main with like nothing else, right? No, I say that like no other sort of advantage or equalizer. It's probably game. Yeah, it's game. Okay, so right, I think big things, right? Get off main still, right? Look for close range off angles where you can like get around shields and actively threaten kills on backline, right? And like don't waste time, um, engaging people cross map. And two, right, work on your cover usage, right? I think this will be like very is very tied in with the first point, right? Where if I feel like if you just get off main, sometimes you'll just stop taking so much damage just by virtue of not playing main, getting like spammed out, right? But I'm sure you can imagine like high ground usage is also part of cover usage, right? It's also part of positioning. But I give you like specific examples a few times here where you can just like play in a specific positioning to like limit the amount of fire you can take from like your enemies, as well as like playing around natural cover just to like limit your chances of dying, right? Like I showed you that example on the first point, not the first fight, but the first point when you like um died to the main Ryan, I think trying to kill the Iari or something like that. Not that important, but like if you just played cover better, you wouldn't have died, right? And there's more times in this thing where I like kind of pointed it out, and there's just more times I also didn't point it out, and you can like look through that yourself to try to figure out if you could have, used cover a bit better to like preserve your life or whatever, right? I hope this helps, and yeah, good luck with your tryouts.